Well, good evening, everybody. This is Kevin Crouch with Ellis County Weather, and what I can tell you is that the storm system we have been waiting for has arrived here, and just about arrived. Now, a couple of things that you're seeing. One, you're seeing a big old stinking warning here, severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 10:15, and this is for this section of the storm right in here that we are watching right on the other side of Cleburne. And these storms are moving to the east at around 50 or so miles per hour, and that is quite a clip. And so what they're doing is they're putting these warnings pretty far out. I mean, you see this thing goes all the way from one end of the far end of Johnson County all the way to just about the I-45 corridor. And that is for these storms that are moving very, very quickly. So they want to make sure that everyone has enough warning to get where they need to go. And hopefully the audio is a little bit better. I don't know how it sounds. I know that in some of my last streams it was a little bit overwhelming, but hopefully I've figured that out now. But we are looking at this segment of the storm right in here. Now, a couple of things that I want to talk about is right in here. Let's actually zoom in a little bit to this. Right in here, if you see this line coming in, right in here, you see right below FM4. It looks like there could be something. Let's actually go to the velocity view here and take a better look. So I'm not immediately seeing rotation here, but what I'm noticing is this right in here, just south of FM4, and it just makes me wonder if we have some kind of rotation here. And of course, I've been talking all day about these squall line brief spin up tornadoes that we can occasionally see. And when I say quick spin up, I mean quick spin up. Really fast. So sometimes it's hard to catch them, especially in a line of storms that's moving 50 miles per hour plus. And so if that is the case, then that is something that we all need to be paying very close attention to. Now, this section of the storm, the primary threat with this is going to be wind, strong winds, and we have been watching mostly the wind threat throughout the day. We've been seeing, wind gusts of 50 to 55 miles per hour primarily in this area across really North Texas. I have heard reports of gusts up to around 70 miles per hour in the strongest areas. Not very common that I'm hearing that, but that is kind of a testament to how strong these storms could be as they move through. So let me just show you how quickly these are moving in. And well, I guess Radar Omega's been having a hard time tonight. I think I've just about worn it out. So worst case scenario, we may have to go to another program here. But you can see how quickly this is moving. And you see some of this purple down south of Glen Rose. It looks like that has kind of gone away a little bit, and it's kind of pulsing up and down, up and down. And that we see that occasionally, right? Where you have a storm that swells and then it kind of weakens, and it swells and then it weakens. So that's a little bit of an indication that we're just kind of seeing a typical severe thunderstorm. So let me kind of get everybody oriented here again. So here is Ellis County, of course, Midlothian, Waxahachie, Ennis, Italy, Red Oak up here, Ferris, Palmer over here, Maypearl right over here. So this storm is moving in, and it does appear to be kind of bowing out a little bit and kind of bulging out. And so it looks like that could be the strongest part of this storm. Right in here is kind of where I'm seeing, and there is a little bit of purple in there. These storms have not been big hail makers thus far. The most of the reports of hail have really been focused on just pea-sized hail, just small stuff here and there. Not a whole lot of activity there. So this doesn't look like the storm that's going to wreck your car or anything like that. So that's the good news. Now, if you have items that are outside that may get blown around by strong winds, this is the time to take care of those before this storm arrives. And I know that we had some outdoor events in Ellis County tonight. I believe that the one that I knew about has disbanded already, so looks like that should be taken care of, and we should be good to go there. And then, so this thin line of storms, and it is very, very thin. It's thin, it's fast moving, so it's not going to be around too terribly long. This is not going to be a line that sits there and causes a bunch of flooding issues and that sort of thing. And the good news is that we will be looking at a relatively quick event that's not going to keep us up all night. Now, I am seeing discussion of some, let me just take a look here. Okay, I am seeing some discussion. Okay, so there is a tornado warning that will be issued for Johnson County very, very shortly. And I think it is for some of that rotation that I was pointing out earlier. And let's see. Let me see here. Just going to see if I can get some additional information here on that. Okay, so yeah, it looks like we do have a tornado warning that is coming for Johnson County. So the thing is that this is the section of the storm that will be moving our way. And I think it might be this part right in here that that I have kind of talked about. I haven't seen a warning come up yet, and I'm trying to get some clarification on that. And I don't see the warning yet, so they probably have not drawn that up. But I do believe that it is, probably for this area right in here where there's circulation. And of course, you see the way this is moving. And I've got the other side here as well, and you can kind of see here kind of a concentration of some stronger winds just to the west of Cleburne. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so this is going to be this area of circulation just outside of Cleburne. Now, because these storms are moving so quickly, we're going to follow this and kind of keep a closer eye. And I'm not sure if this warning is going to go into Ellis County at all. It may, so I'm gonna kind of get ready to share this. Okay, so it actually, we'll see that here very, very shortly. This goes all the way to the county line, so it does include. Let's see, it does include Venus, Alvarado, Antioch, it's north of Grandview. It's not on the screen yet. Just give the computer a moment to catch up here, but it does include Bono, Cleburne, Keene, Joshua, Lillian, Alvarado, and Venus. There it is. So yeah, this is for kind of this area of circulation, and that of course is moving. I can do a better job than that. Right in here, and it's really going to be moving just right up 67 here. So if we go back to this view, then really, I mean, this is moving right into Cleburne here. So it looks like we're looking at this kind of focused area of stronger winds right in the north western portions of Cleburne. I'm pretty sure that's what we're looking at. So if you're in the Cleburne area, you've got to be taking shelter now, as there does appear to be a possible circulation in that area right now. So I am going to get ready to for the possibility, not the certainty by any means, but the possibility of a tornado warning moving into Ellis County if this circulation does stick around. Now, the good news is, and I've talked about this before today, that circulations like this normally do not last very long. Okay, so when it comes to Ellis County, which is our actual area of focus, it doesn't look like that's really going to be. It doesn't look like we will have to worry about that too much, but we're going to have to keep an eye on this anyway. And you can see here, you see this kind of dark line, and that is where you have some convergence in the winds, and then right here in Cleburne, right in this area here, so right in here, just south of 67, is where we are kind of looking at some rotation. And you can see that, this is kind of the way that's all going. We always talk about the couplet and the inflow, those kind of things, how those winds are rotating. So this tornado warning goes for the next half hour, so until 10 o'clock. Radar indicated rotation in the Cleburne area right now. So this tornado warning does not currently include Ellis County. Let me make that very clear, that this warning does not include Ellis County. However, this is going to make its way kind of just right up 67 here, and going to move up towards the Alvarado area, up towards Venus, and if it holds together, eventually towards the Midlothian area. So that is going to kind of be our area of concern and kind of our avenue of concern right now, and we'll be keeping an eye on this as it moves in. Now, like we said, we are primarily looking at a damaging wind threat. So we are going to have occasional little spin-ups like this throughout the entire line, throughout North Texas, and we'll kind of do a big picture orientation here in just a moment. But you see these little notches that come in, and you can kind of see the inflow here, and then the rotation kind of comes around this way. Okay, so National Weather Service is saying that they are still seeing the circulation. We're certainly seeing the notch, and that rotation is persistent, and you can see it again right here, kind of this bright spot. Okay, and here's an update, and that actually is a bit of a deeper indication here. So here you can see kind of that almost interruption in the green, and then the green right in there. So that is where you have your circulation, and it has been persistent so far. So this is going to be heading right towards the Keene area. Again, this is going to be almost like right along 67. So if you're in Keene, you're in Alvarado. I know that sometimes we have folks in eastern portions of Johnson County that watch this feed because we're pretty close to that area. So if it's if you're watching in those areas, you do need to be taking shelter immediately. In Keene, Alvarado, over in Venus, you're included in this tornado warning. So it is the fact of the matter is that you need to be taking this very, very seriously at this moment. Of course, Matt, the moderator, is listening for radio traffic and that sort of thing to see what is going on there. It's nighttime, so it's going to be hard to see this. Plus, in the Keene area, it looks like this could be rain wrapped. So if there is anything on the ground, it could be hard to see anything and to know what indications you have. Of course, we remember the tornado that went through southern Waxahachie just north of Forreston, and you had issues seeing that. We went through all of that. There's a whole program, if you want to go find that on the Facebook page or on YouTube, where we talked about the best picture we got was through lightning. So sometimes it's going to be very, very hard to see this, especially when you have such strong winds that are going to kind of just blind you, with this rotation. So definitely take this very, very seriously. If you are on that 67 corridor in or east of Cleburne, I would say really east of Cleburne, then definitely take shelter. And this is a very quick moving system. So if you're in the Keene area, you're in Alvarado, you're in Venus, it's not like you have a whole lot of time. So you want to make sure that you're taking shelter now. If you are in the Midlothian area, I would be preparing for. I don't. My instinct tells me that this circulation probably won't stick around or hold together long enough to be to move into the Midlothian area. But it's strong enough. I mean, we've got a really good indication here of this rotation. I mean, when you're on the leading edge of a squall line here, that's a pretty good couplet there. So definitely be, if you're on that 67 corridor, be taking shelter, or if you're in the Midlothian area, just kind of watch very closely over the next few minutes, because we're going to be watching this very closely for you on radar, and if we have anything from those radio operators, we will bring that to you too. I've got information coming in from the National Weather Service. Ellis County folks are, emergency responders are activating right now, preparing to keep an eye on things as they happen. So we're just going to keep an eye on this part of the storm here until this tornado threat finally kind of begins to alleviate just a little bit. And if you want to share this with your friends, we have about 1,200 folks that are watching this right now. So definitely share this with anybody that you know is in eastern Johnson County, western Ellis County right now. And so you do definitely want to share this feed with them to make sure that they are informed on what is going on. With these high winds, it's not going to be by any means far-fetched that power is going to be lost. So sometimes when the power goes out, all you have is the battery on your phone, which is why you want to have batteries like these, external charging batteries like this, to charge your phone in the case that severe weather takes that power out, and you don't have a TV or anything to go off of. It's just strictly your resources there on the phone. So let's take another look at this kind of couplet here. We're still seeing more convergence of the rotation here. So and again, you can see kind of here the directions of the winds, and you see them tango in here, and this is not what we like to see. And sorry about that. So this is a continued concern. And you see how quickly it moved through the Keene area. So if you're in Alvarado right now, if you're in Venus, you have got to be taking shelter right now, because this area of rotation is heading your direction. Now, it's what I will say is that it doesn't look as tightly circulated at the moment. It could be because of how closely, if you see this space here, this dark disk, that is the radar. So depending sometimes on where it is in position with the radar and in relation to the radar, it may be harder to see exactly what is happening. So we are going to be keeping an eye on this for the next few minutes, and I know that we're getting a lot of questions about other parts of Ellis County. These storms have not moved into Ellis County yet. Let me just say that. And additionally, we are not looking at anything really going on except for eastern Johnson County and western Ellis County. So if you're in northwestern Ellis County, around the Midlothian area, is the primary area I think that would be of most concern over the next several minutes, because this is going to, again, kind of move up the 67 corridor here. So Alvarado, Venus, possibly even Midlothian, I would be getting ready for this section of the storm. Again, as I said, these sections do not normally hold their rotation very long. It's not something that normally does that. It's these are not kind of your long track tornadoes traditionally, but that doesn't mean that this one in particular can't hang around. So this is what we're looking at. So I just want to give you kind of a better idea of where we're expecting this to go. So expect this generally to move right along 67 here, up towards the Midlothian area. So this is the direction that we're seeing it going. I believe that this will pass north of Maypearl. I know that I've got some folks asking there. And let me kind of try to do a better job of highlighting that. I know the blue is not really showing up very well. Let me see if I can maybe get a yellow going here. There we go. Okay, so that's kind of where the rotation is right now. And I see it generally going towards the Midlothian area. Again, I don't expect that we are going to... I doubt, not sure, but I doubt that we are going to see that rotation last that long. Usually these circulations, they kind of pop up and they go. So I really don't know how much longer it's going to last. It's moving into the Alvarado area now. Let me take this off so we can kind of see what this update shows us. And I can tell you for sure that Ellis County is under a severe thunderstorm warning. That we know for sure, and that warning is going to go until 10:15. And we're getting more information. Okay, more information from the National Weather Service. So that severe thunderstorm warning does last until 10:15. There is a tornado watch that remains in effect until 2 a.m., and that is being kind of curved back as we go into, as the storms pass by there. So it's, once this line is behind us, we're going to be in good shape. And so we've got an update here, and we still see more rotation. So you can kind of see, right, this rotation. You see the reds and the greens that are kind of wrapping into each other. That is your inflow there. So that's the circulation that we are watching. So let me just kind of give you another kind of broader orientation. Just 1 minute here. Okay. All right, so let's kind of get another drawing of this here. So here is the area of concern. Here is the circulation, and that's going to continue to move off to the northeast. Again, it's following 67 pretty closely here. So as this continues to move off to the east, we're going to have to wait and see if this is going to hold on to that circulation, onto that rotation that is there. So if you're in the Alvarado area, that is where this is focused right now. You want to be taking shelter there. You want to be taking shelter in Venus. You want to be watching this very closely in Midlothian. That is the track this is going to take over the next several minutes. And again, remember, this is moving very, very quickly. So it's going to take quite a bit of movement between radar updates. And so if you are, if you're in Alvarado, it's probably moving through right now, and then it'll be in Venus very, very shortly. So you don't have time to stick around and say, maybe it'll hit me or not. Go ahead and take shelter in those areas. We will have to wait and see if a warning is going to be issued for parts of northern Ellis County or parts of southern Dallas County as well. It could very well be. We could very well see that occur if this rotation can hold on. And what I will tell you is that we have this line here, and then it just kind of gets interrupted here. There's just different stuff going on. There's another kind of notch here right around Blum. So that may take some watching as that moves towards southern Ellis County. So we will have to continue to watch this unfold. And this is what we've been talking about throughout the day. These spin-up tornadoes that can happen on the leading edge. As far as I know, and Matt, you can tell me better than anything, I don't think that we've had any kind of confirmation of a tornado on the ground, either by the storm spotters or social media or anything of that sort. I don't think that we've had official word of a tornado on the ground, but it is definitely circulating. Okay, Matt's confirmed for me that there's no word from what he's hearing of confirmation of any kind of a tornado going on. Let me just kind of update some things here. I've had a lot of stuff up on my computer for a while now, so it's all kind of having issues as far as trying to stay current every now and then. You know, that's why we have to close windows every now and then, and let things kind of revamp a little bit. Okay, let's see. Okay, so here is the rotation that we have right here in the Alvarado area. Okay, that has since updated, so it is now outside of the Alvarado area. So it is now east of there. So the next area this is going to move towards is the Venus area. Now, as I have mentioned multiple times before, is we do definitely want to move this. We want to pay attention to the fact that this is a very fast-moving system. Very fast-moving system. So by the time I tell you in Venus you need to be taking shelter, it's going to be there. So what I would say is, if you're in Venus right now, if you're in Midlothian, if you're in the Midlothian area, go ahead and take shelter now. I know that we're talking about sirens now, and that's not unlikely that there would be sirens in a tornado-warned area. And so the circulation, we're still seeing it there, and you can see the leading edge of these winds, and you can see how strong those winds are from Mansfield up to Bisbee, up getting into Arlington there. But this is the circulation that we are concerned about right in here, and it's going to continue to move very, very quickly up to the northeast. Let me do a little bit of a better line there. So this is what we're watching, and it's going to be moving into the Venus area very, very soon. So be ready in Venus for this to pass through. Be ready in the Ward and Midlothian areas as well. Those are the areas to be concerned about. Any other part of Ellis County is really not under any kind of threat right now. So if you're in the Midlothian area, that's really the only part of Ellis County. That northwestern corner there is the only part of Ellis County that faces any kind of concern here. Maypero, you're going to start getting some rain, possibly some wind here in the next few minutes, but nothing that is of any major concern for those parts other than right there in Ellis County. So let me have a moment here to kind of get things lined up here. Okay. All right. So we're continuing to watch this rotation, and again, we have a tornado warning for western portions now of Johnson County, eastern portions of Johnson County. We're looking at issues in western Ellis County. And I am waiting to see if there's going to be an update in Ellis County for this part of the storm. I'm not really entirely sure if this circulation, how well the circulation is going to continue to hold through. As I've said, these circulations traditionally do not hold on very long. So let me kind of back off and get you oriented here. Here's the part of the storm that we're concerned about. And right, I cannot get a line straight to save my life on this thing. This is the direction that I see it going. And I know that there's questions asked about Red Oak. I think that Red Oak can kind of take it easy for the moment. I don't know that the Red Oak area will be facing any concern on this, just because I don't think that this circulation will hold on that long. Now, that said, anywhere, it's generally a good idea, to be honest with you, to take shelter on any part of the leading edge of this storm, just because when those circulations do pop up, they do so very quickly. So if you're asking if this specific circulation is going to affect the Red Oak area, I don't really think so. I think it's going to go north of Waxahachie. I don't think it's going to hold on long enough to affect the Red Oak area. It's going to be moving towards Midlothian. I would say start taking shelter in the Midlothian area if you can, because that part of the line will be moving through. So it looks like there will not be any tornado warning issued for Ellis County. So they will allow this warning in Johnson County to expire, and they will not issue a new tornado warning for Ellis County. So this is the part of the storm that we're watching, and it is moving briskly off to the east. So this is where you're going to have the strongest winds moving into Ellis County. So, and you can see here we have a new notch kind of developing here west of Midlothian. Now let me point out too that not every notch that we see is rotation. That usually is how they start, so you kind of have to monitor those. But you know, just on the just to the west of Midlothian. So really, if this part becomes something that we need to be focused on, this is really going to move more up into southern Dallas County, western Dallas County there, the DeSoto and Lancaster area. But if we go further down, I am watching this area around Covington here as well. We have a really bad habit of getting rotation from the Covington area that moves in. So I will be keeping an eye on that as well. Possibly some hail north of Covington as well. But again, these hailstorms, or these hail reports we've had so far have not been major. So I know we've got a lot of questions about all different kinds of places. So let me just do a broad look here. Here's what we're looking at. Here's the line in motion. Man, I cannot get Radar Omega to cooperate tonight. Let me just close it out and let's just open that back up. Hopefully we'll have a better time with it in the next few minutes. I apologize for the delays here. I think the computer's just tired after monitoring all of this all day. So here is Ellis County. Of course, we have this severe thunderstorm warning that continues until 10:15, and that we will have an extension here of a new warning that will go through a little bit of a longer timetable, because this is not going to be completely out of here by 10:15, and there will be probably a warning issued for the sections of Ellis County that are not currently warned, from Ennis up to Palmer down to Bardwell and Alma, those areas. So a couple of things that I want to bring your attention to. So here is the part of the storm moving through Venus right now, moving into Ellis County, far western portions of Ellis County, that prompted the tornado warning. That warning will be allowed to expire because the circulation has become disorganized and weakened, so it doesn't really look like anything is going to really happen there. And then, so you see the front ends of this moving into western portions of Ellis County. The next thing that's really going to be concerning is, and I've been kind of keeping this in the corner of my eye, so I talked about that rotation in Covington, and we are looking at some kind of a supercell structure here. You see this where you have kind of a hook echo here, and then you have the heavier part of the storm in here. And this is going to be moving into familiar territory here, unfortunately. Let me go ahead and update this, because now radar has already updated. So this part of the storm, let me make that broader. This is what we're looking at. So kind of an embedded supercell structure here within this storm that will be moving into, like I said, some familiar territory here south of Waxahachie, actually probably southern portions of Waxahachie, down towards the Itley area. So that's what we're going to be watching next. That's the most intense part of this. Now, if we venture up into southern Dallas County, you can see just a straight, solid line of very strong storms from the Cedar Hill area all the way up to Grand Prairie, Irving, moving into downtown Dallas very soon, hitting Love Field right now. But down in Ellis County, we do have some stronger winds that are moving into the Midlothian area right now. And then as this continues to move forward, this is going to be my area of concern, because what we can have here, and if let's actually go ahead and pull up this velocity view again. Okay, so I am concerned about rotation just west of Itasca here. because I do think that we could be seeing some rotation trying to develop here. I think that we're going to have some inflow right in here and possibly some circulating winds here just to the east of Itasca, and that will move towards the Italy area. So right in here, moving towards the Italy area. So that is my primary concern right now. It is taking on some supercellular characteristics, right? And so that is this is going to be our next concern here, and you can even see kind of that shooting out here. So definitely seeing supercell characteristics, and we're going to have to keep an eye on this for sure. And Matt, I don't know if you're hearing anything about this. The discussion right now is that it's the attention is generally turning there. Once again, like I said, we're kind of seeing what could be some inflow here right in this area. So that is right where we're seeing that notch. So and again, just to kind of illustrate that again, could be seeing some circulation developing in that area. Okay, let's see. All right, so nothing from spotters at this time. And Midlothian, the circulation that was headed that direction has greatly diminished, so I'm not really concerned about that at this time. Let me take a closer look in this area. It does look like there could be a little bit of something trying to do something there. Very, very small area, that might be, but it does not look anything like what we had before. So I don't think that we have an imminent tornado threat in Midlothian or anything. I'm going to be paying more attention to this storm in the Itasca area, where we do have some increasing wind speeds just to the west of Itasca. And that could be inflow feeding some circulation in that area. And we do have a kind of a deepening hook echo here. And very heavy rain in Grandview, heavier rain starting to move into the Maypearl area. You're going to start feeling that rain really in Maypearl, the Auburn area just north of there, Griffith 5 points, the Boz area, that section of Ellis County is going to start getting all of that. So I'm curious to see what the latest update on the left side of your screen. This is the wind direction and speed. So the red and greens are opposite directions. And then when you have the brighter colors, that's really where you're going to see the increased wind speeds. So let's take that off and see if we can toggle that again and see if we can get an update on that view there. So it looks like velocity might be taking a little bit of time to get updated. And for anyone wondering what kind of software this is Radar Omega. That's the program that I am using right now. That's what you're looking at on your screen. The circulation near Itasca is strengthening, so we do see deepening rotation here, and you can see that hook echo right clearly right there. So that's what we're looking at, and that is going to be moving right towards Ellis County, right? So again, this is kind of familiar territory. If you feel like you're getting deja vu here, you're not alone, because this is a similar track to what the tornado that moved through southern Waxahachie, northern Italy Forreston rather, moved through back in the spring. So definitely let's keep an eye on this. Again, this is kind of our area of concern here. And here's the county line. So this is going to be moving probably south of Maypearl here. So right where 308 and 66 come together is kind of going to be part of my concern. And then right at 5 points. And I do have concerns as well. I need to talk about this too. Let's get away from that storm and talk a little bit about on the highways. we have the strong winds beginning to move into Midlothian. Matt is in the Midlothian area, so he'll be able to tell me if he's got any furniture flying around there or anything. But from Cedar Hill down to Midlothian, down to Griffith, that is the leading edge of these winds, probably moving into the Mayport area very soon. And then just kind of moving down 287 here towards the Oakleaf area into Waxahachie 5 Points towards the 35 corridor. But if you're on the highway, you want to be watching out for those semi-trailers, because those have those broad sides. Those winds are just going to blow them right down, unfortunately. It looks like if you're on 287, you don't really have to worry about that too much, because it's going to kind of be a tailwind or a headwind. But 35, you're going to be kind of parallel to the side of this, and the winds are going to be perpendicular. So where that's going to be impacting you, you really do need to take that seriously. Now, something else to take seriously is the lightning. You see this little lightning strike here in Waxahachie, and right in here. That's not exactly that close to the rest of the storm, right? So that needs to be taken seriously too. The lightning does not have to happen right up close and personal with the storm. That can happen quite a distance away. So we're still watching this rotation in the Itasca area, and this is getting very, very close to Ellis County. So this is kind of the area of rotation we're watching, and you've seen this this deepening hook echo here. And basically a supercell within this line, right? And that's kind of cheating, because normally when we have these solid line of storms, we're not really going to be that concerned about the supercell thunderstorms, the characteristics that you bring. So the hail and the rotation, those kind of things. You're normally not going to be as worried about that when you have a solid line, but this one is taking on those characteristics anyway. So we're kind of in a unique situation. So here is where we have that inflow, and you see that kind of deepening that hook there, and then of course that those winds coming in the other way that are going to rotate. And let's wait and see what the velocity says here. So this is where this rotation is. So right south of Grandview, just crossed 35, and heading towards FM 308 here and 66, where those come together. That's where we're seeing this area of rotation right now. That's going to be our focus. And if we look at the updated view here, okay, we do have a tornado warning coming for parts of Ellis County for this circulation. So we don't have anything confirmed at this moment. This is strictly going to be precautionary to make sure that we are watching this very closely and that folks take this seriously. So we do have a tornado warning that will be coming for Ellis County very, very soon. So we're going to wait for that to be issued before we start giving times and those kinds of things. And so let's wait and see if we're going to get the timing on this. Matt, do you have you seen a time come across for this tornado warning in Ellis County? Has that been issued yet, or do you have any details? Okay, it looks like the warning just came across. Well, there you go. There you go. Nice and loud, right in the mic, right? There's probably a lot of folks. So until 10:30 p.m., we do have a tornado warning that is for parts of Ellis County. This is really going to be a good swath of Ellis County right in the center. And so let me get this this graphic to cooperate with me here. And then we will get that posted on the social media, because we know that we want to make sure that people that don't currently watch, that aren't currently on this stream, are going to be watching it. So we're going to get that posted here. So a tornado warning in Ellis County until 10:30 p.m. And that is for this rotation that we have seen in this area, in the Itasca area. Okay, Matt, can you give me that one more time? Okay, so sirens in the Midlothian area, and something that I need to talk about briefly, and I don't want to take the time to go into a lecture about this, even though it requires one. These sirens are not exclusively tornado sirens, so I want you to keep that in mind. This is not specifically about tornadoes. Those sirens are used to warn outdoor individuals about strong winds, about large hail at times, those kinds of things. So it's not exclusive to tornadoes. That is not the only time that you're going to hear these sirens. Now, obviously, in this situation, we will probably have sirens all throughout Ellis County for this storm right here, this absolute cheater of a storm. We're seeing a supercell type storm within a squall line, and it's just absolutely unfair. That is just not right. So, but it is what it is, and we will take the right precautions. So what I want you to do, if you're in the Maypearl area, I want you to be getting in your safe spot right now. If you are in the Five Points area, if you're in the Boz area, over in Auburn, just north of Maypearl, between Maypearl and Italy, Plum Grove, that area, Files Valley, because you see, okay, right here, here's Auburn, just south of there is where this rotation is right now. And you can see very clearly, if I just draw this, you can see that inflow very, very clearly, right? And then you see that bulge, you see that? So that bulge going out and then this notch going in, that is your area of rotation. So that is going to be the area where we need to be taking this very, very seriously. Let me kind of zoom out here a little bit. We're up close and tight on this view, and my cat's decided at the worst possible time to join the fun. He's a sweetheart. I love him. I'm not gonna blame him or anything. So here is the circulation. Hi. I guess you're doing this now. He's concerned. He wants to see what's happening. So here is the rotation that we have right now. So moving this direction, and my wife is here to retrieve the kitty. No, maybe not. He's very upset. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
All right. I think he was sensing the tension in here, and I'll need a Band-Aid in a little bit. So that's where we have the rotation. So this is going to take a very similar track, I think, to that rotation that we saw that moved into southern Waxahachie and northern Maypearl. So we have sirens going off in Waxahachie, so sirens all throughout kind of this warning area. I can actually do this now. All through this warning area, that is so disorienting. That's so weird. When you're like, this is all messed up. I can't pull that off. So this is, and you can see, again, if I point this out to you, you can see how deep this rotation goes. I mean, it's just very, very noticeable where you have this couplet here. So I'm just trying to show you very vividly where that rotation is. So again, this is the tornado warning that is in place right now. So here it is. Here's our area of concern. This is going to continue to move. Really, I am a little bit concerned about southern portions of Waxahachie here. Lake Waxahachie and up on the hill there south of town. This is kind of the track that I expect this to take. And this is moving very quickly too. Again, let me remind you that this is moving very fast, so you don't have the kind of free time that you normally would expect to, because this is going to move very, very fast through these areas. And so you can't count on me to wait until it gets close. You've got to go ahead and take shelter now in those areas. And so if you're in Waxahachie, I want you to go ahead and take shelter now. If you're in Waxahachie, or if you're in Forreston, go ahead and take shelter. That needs to be... Chris, I'm sure the mic is probably a little bit distorted. I have been working on that for days, but I've not been able to figure out how to make the levels work right. So hopefully, maybe I can just talk a little bit. Maybe I can talk a little bit quieter, because this mic is kind of fighting me. So I apologize that that's distorting some of the audio, making it hard to focus. But if you're in Waxahachie, 5 points, Boz, down to Forreston, I want you to be taking shelter now. And even in the Palmer area, go ahead and take shelter. You're in this warning as well. So Palmer and Garrett, take shelter there as well. I think that this circulation here, here's the circulation. You can see that very characteristic hook. It's going to continue to move through and is going to move into the southern portions of Waxahachie. I do expect that to happen, especially downtown Waxahachie, Lake Waxahachie. Those areas are where I'm primarily concerned at this time. Victoria, you're asking about Duncanville. Sorry, you're a little bit north of where I'm focused right now. You're getting strong winds and heavy rain, but we are focused on a tornadic situation in Ellis County, which Ellis County weather, I got to stick where I work. So this is kind of the track that we are seeing here. And we'll probably get an update very, very soon on the radar. So this is kind of where I expect this to go. So I'm just going to leave that up there for the moment here. Okay, and all right. So, and I'm watching some other sources of information here. Okay, we've got an update here. So the circulation moving just south of Maypearl. So hopefully, if you're in Maypearl, you're already taking cover, and in the Waxahachie area right now, Waxahachie should be taking shelter at this time. Here is the rotation highlighted on just another view. So this will be probably moving through the southern portions of Waxahachie right now in the next few minutes. So again, if you are in the 5 points area, it's going to be right in your area. And then we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for the Waxahachie area, including Ellis County. So a new severe thunderstorm warning until 11:15. Until 11:15. So that is the severe thunderstorm warning that will impact the rest of the county. Now, I can also say that that's not really going to take precedent necessarily over the tornado warning we have going on right now. So we want to be focused on the tornado warning. So if you are in this polygon, read the shirt, respect the polygon. If you're in the Waxahachie area, if you're in Palmer, Garrett, even Ennis, I would say, especially 5 points in Waxahachie, Forreston, if you're in those areas, you need to be taking shelter right now. That is going to be your primary area of concern. And if you're asking about an area outside of Ellis County, I'm sorry, but this is the area that we need to be focused on at this very moment, because we do have what could possibly be, I haven't heard, again, I've not heard any confirmation at all tonight of any tornadoes on the ground. And so these are just kind of those leading edge. Well, before, when it was in Johnson County, we had that brief spin up right on the leading edge of the storm. This is a little bit different from what we expected. This is more of a supercell type thunderstorm. And along with this, we could be also looking at a hail threat moving on kind of the back side of this. So when the rotation passes you, you're going to get hit very hard with some very strong winds, possibly some hail as well. But I'm not too terribly worried about that at this time. I think that the primary threat we have, aside from obviously some very strong winds that'll move through the area, we do also have the concern of this rotation. So I haven't received anything in terms of eyewitness confirmation of a tornado. You know, we a lot of times we depend on ground truth, and we have not had that at this time. And again, it's nighttime. It's hard to see. Some of this may be rain wrapped with strong winds and heavy rain. Sometimes it's especially difficult to actually, let's see. It can be very difficult to really see anything going on in a storm at night. So I'm going to go ahead and take off. Let me adjust things here because we're about to get a radar update. And I want to see where everything is. I suspect this is going to be moving towards southern Waxahachie in just momentarily, probably right around the 5 points area. It may actually just barely go north of 5 points. But we're going to continue to keep a close eye on this. Let's just wait and see. Okay, so I guess we're not getting an update here for the next few minutes here. Let me get an idea of where that frame is. Okay, we should be getting an update very, very shortly. And again, this is the area. Okay, here we go. So we still kind of, we still kind of have, it looks like just to the really right in the 5 points area, just really on the north, the western side of 5 points here. So moving just on the southern part of Waxahachie here, when it moves, then our rotation is really going to be kind of in this area. So let's just wait and see for that to update here. This velocity view takes a little bit longer to update. And so we should be getting an update here very, very quickly that will probably tell us a little bit more about the rotation. Again, on the left side of the screen here, where you're looking, this shows us wind speed and direction. So where you see the green and red, those are opposing wind directions. And let's see. Okay. And I'm taking in some, different aspects of information here. So, so right in here, right where you see this notch, this is the area that we're watching. And it looks to me like this may not necessarily be the tightest rotation. So that can be a bit of a good sign. Just generally speaking, that can be a positive sign in response to watching this rotation. Now, I will say that we still, on this view, let me actually get a different color here, because different colors, these two screens are going to be a little bit competing with each other, but right in here, we still have very clearly winds moving at opposite directions, right? You have the inflow here, and so this is still a little bit of a concern, but and we have another update here. So this is moving closer and closer to I-35. So we want to be watching that very closely. This is just about to move through I-35. It's going to move just north. Get a different color here. It's going to move just north of, or really right around the same area where the Forreston tornado originally moved through. So if you're in that area, then be taking shelter very, very soon, really immediately. Because again, I keep saying this, these storms are moving very, very quickly. So if you're in southern parts of Waxahachie, you want to be taking this very, very seriously. I will say it does overall look like the supercell structure we were seeing with this. Okay, all right, this is going to keep me busy. So we have this circulation here. We now have another circulation building in the Italy area. So we have two circulations here, one in the 5 points area and one in the Italy area. Okay, and these are both going to be covered by the same warning. So here is what we have going on right now. Let me change the color a little bit here to make it easier to see, because the rotation is always easier to see on this view. So we have this rotation here, and we have a new area of circulation developing in the Italy area. So these are going to move kind of parallel to each other. So if you are in the Italy area, if you are in Avalon, if you are in Bardwell, I want you to be taking shelter immediately. So we have two areas of rotation, and really these are going to be more of those kind of leading edge of the what we call the QLS. I'm so frazzled I can't even think of it. Okay, I'm taking a look at the radar here, just kind of take a closer view, and okay, so on this view it's going to be right in here. So these QLCS the QLCS is what I was trying to say. These are going to be those more of those, I think, those brief spin-ups that we're going to see. So let's take this off and move over a little bit here. So here's what we're looking at. We've got one circulation in the Italy area. It's going to ride kind of the lower part of this warning right across here, right? And then any kind of remnants of a circulation that moved, it's now moving through southern Waxahachie as well. So this is the situation, and we do have again 2 circulations that we're watching, and that circulation that is south of Waxahachie right now, I am not as concerned with that at the moment. We do have some stronger winds. You see these stronger winds here moving right into downtown Waxahachie. So be prepared for strong wind gusts there. And then we have this circulation here. Let me delete that so we don't get mixed up here. Here's one circulation. Now this is not as strong as it was. And kind of here is that area. So southern Waxahachie, we do have one area of rotation, and I messed that up. Let me draw that again. I am not as concerned about this area of rotation as I am just to the east of Italy here. This is we're seeing those yellows and some stronger wind gusts here, and this is going to be moving towards the Bardwell area. So if you are in Bardwell, please take shelter immediately. If you're in Bardwell, really if you're in Ennis as well, be taking shelter in those areas, because there is a circulation that is tornado warned for that area. So hopefully those sirens in the Ennis area will start to sound very soon, because we are looking at some concerning rotation. Again, no confirmation of a tornado on the ground in those areas, okay? Let me just stress to you that we are not hearing confirmation of a tornado on the ground, but this is tornado warned. It sounds like those sirens are going off in the Ferris or in the Ennis area now, but we are watching this area of rotation, and you see that it's going pretty far. I'm projecting that all the way to the Bardwell area, all the way towards Ennis and Alma. So the fact of the matter is, this is moving very, very quickly. So this is going to be barreling towards the Bardwell area very, very quickly. Matt, have you heard anything from storm spotters? Okay, so they're still trying to mobilize a little bit, get moving a little bit. But if you are in the Bardwell, Ennis, Alma area, please take shelter immediately. Even in the Garrett area, please take shelter now. You do have a rotation, an area of rotation that is moving your direction. And if you're taking shelter in Waxahachie, go for it. Stay there, because we have now some stronger winds. I don't see a rotation in that area necessarily. I think the circulation that moved out of the Maypearl area, I'm not seeing a whole lot of strength out of that circulation, so I'm not as concerned about it. National Weather Service is saying that another tornado warning will probably be issued here shortly to kind of capture both circulations and better center on those, and so I will be getting prepared for that as well. So just to kind of keep you up to date on what all I'm doing here, I'm doing the radar, but I'm also doing the graphics here that you're seeing on the page that are hopefully bringing people in. It looks like we're close to 5,000 people watching. That is fantastic, as far as keeping as many people as possible informed right now on the situation here in Ellis County. Man, this thing moved into Ellis County and really just kicked into gear And so let me just take the opportunity very briefly, because I need to focus on this, to kind of show you where things are. This is the line that we're watching. Again, here's that rotation in the Italy area. Okay, so we have a new tornado warning for Ellis County until 11 p.m. So that's 11 p.m. That's just a little bit beyond the 10:30 that we had originally. So this is just to kind of capture, again, both of these circulations that you're seeing here. So we have a new tornado warning that has just been issued here. So let me get these graphics out so that we can keep people get people tuning in here. So here's the line. Now, if you're in the Midlothian area, Midlothian, Maypearl, you're all clear. You're good. You're done. Everything, your night is done, because as soon as you get past this line, once this line is moved through, you're done. And it's moving very, very quickly. So if you're in the Midlothian area, Maypearl, 5 points behind 35 here, you're good to go. If you're still getting this line, stay where you are. Be taking shelter very, very soon. So let's just kind of go back over what we have here. Use blue on one screen. Here's the circulation we have in the Forreston area, and then or in the Bardwell area, moving towards the Bardwell area now. That's actually going to need to be yellow as well. Okay, so here is one area of rotation that's right around the Lake Waxahachie area, and then just north of Avalon here is another area of some circulation going on right now. So this, we put some yellow on here so you can see, this is moving right towards the Bardwell area, and this will be moving right towards the Palmer area. So if you are in those areas right now, and this is really I'm more concerned about this circulation near the Avalon area than I am about the one in Waxahachie. So if you're in the Avalon area right now, in the Bardwell area, in the Ennis area, please be taking shelter immediately, because that's where these two circulations are moving through. These storms are barreling. I mean, they are moving very, very quickly. They've been moving right around 50 miles per hour at this point. Let me just check something real fast. Okay, I'm checking in to see if we have exactly how fast these storms are moving in Ellis County, because I think that's going to give us a better idea of what we really need to be watching for. These are the two circulations. So one right around Lake Waxahachie here, just in that vicinity, crossing 287, and then one moving towards the Bardwell area. Definitely going to be moving very, very quickly. So there's not a whole lot of time. Okay, so around 50 miles per hour as far as eastward progress for these storms. That is fast, folks. That is fast for a storm. So definitely be keeping in mind that these two circulations are still here. I'm still more concerned about this southern one. So this storm here is going to be moving pretty much right along 34 here once it gets to the Bardwell area into Ennis, and then one that is right around Lake Waxahachie that's going to be heading towards the Palmer and Garrett area. So if you are in those areas, please be taking shelter now. Please be taking shelter as soon as possible, because we don't have confirmation of a tornado, but if there is a tornado, it's going to be hard to see. It's going to be hard to catch that. The good news is that the 35 corridor, at least from Waxahachie southward, is going to be clearing out very quickly. So again, this line of storms is moving very fast, so that means that it's leaving your area very fast. So here's where we have these areas of circulation. And I'm just going to keep updating these because I know that it helps to see where it's going to go. We have one that's moving right into the Bardwell area. We have one moving right into, right between Garrett and Palmer. So those two are the ones that you're going to need to see and watch for over the next few minutes. So definitely take a shelter if you are from Palmer down to Ennis, really, and everywhere, between there, from Bardwell up to areas between Waxahachie and Palmer there. Definitely be taking shelter because of how quickly this is moving. And we do have a characteristic hook that is just to the west of Bardwell too. Okay, so we're seeing strong rotation, and I've been talking about this. This is the rotation that I'm mostly concerned about in the Bardwell area. Okay, this is what I'm mostly concerned about because let me get a different color here. You see this hook here? That hook is that strengthening rotation going to be moving right towards the Bardwell area, right into Ennis. So that's what I'm concerned about right now. So if you are in the Ennis area, please be taking shelter now. As you can see, it's moving just north now of Bardwell. So right in the Bardwell area, and it's going to continue to move into the Ennis area. So if you are in Ennis, you need to be on alert, taking shelter immediately, because this is going to keep moving very, very fast. 50 miles per hour for a storm is very, very fast. We do not expect storms to move that quickly. So definitely be keeping an eye on all of this as we continue to move east with this storm. And I mean, when I say this thing is moving, it really, really is. It's definitely moving very, very fast. Okay, so here's kind of this area of rotation right around Bardwell, moving towards the Ennis area. Here it is on the other radar here. I think that the northern circulation, I don't think is quite as defined. The most well-defined rotation we have right now is here in the Bardwell area. And that is going to be moving towards Ennis. We're kind of right, like I said, right along 34 here. So if you are in the Ennis area, you need to be taking shelter now because it's dark, it's raining heavy, it's windy. There's a myriad of different reasons that we would not be able to see a tornado. So we don't need to be relying on seeing a tornado before we take shelter. So definitely be taking shelter now. If you're in the Garrett area, definitely take shelter as well. Really anywhere south of Palmer and north of Alma, you need to be taking shelter immediately. So even over in Rosser, you want to be taking shelter and paying attention to this because this is moving very, very fast. Now, if the storms have moved out of your area, if you are behind the storms, Waxahachie is going to be clearing out very, very soon. So Waxahachie will be cleared out soon. Looks like some stronger winds blowing through the Pecan Hill area right now, but that is not where the circulation necessarily is. And let me kind of give, while we're talking about where the storms are, let me give some all clears here. Waxahachie, looks like most of Waxahachie is in the clear now. Looks like Italy and Forreston are in the clear now. You're on the backside of those storms. Red Oak and Oakleaf and Ovilla, that area. You're going to be all clear very, very soon with those storms moving out. This is the area of concern that I have right now, from Palmer down to Ennis. This is where I'm mostly concerned because this is where we have this strengthening rotation and a continuing tornado warning. So we are tornado warned at this time. So even if you don't take this specific rotation seriously, just take seriously the fact that you are tornado warned for the next 27 minutes here. It may not last that long. I believe that this storm may move out of Ellis County before then, but we do have increasing wind speeds with this rotation in the Bardwell area, so you do want to be taking that very, very seriously. If you are on the west side of I-35 in Ellis County, you are all clear. The storm has left your area. You're good to go. You're fine. You can resume normal business. Go check out the day's fantasy football, whatever you want to do. You are in the clear. But if you are in the Palmer-Ennis area, this area right here, this kind of southeastern portion of Ellis County, then you want to be paying attention to this line. And if you're in the Ennis area, I hope that you're already, in a sheltered area, because this is going to be moving into the Ennis area very, very fast if it's not there already. We will see an update on the radar here very soon. Okay, so still seeing a little bit of an area of rotation here, kind of a broad area of rotation looks like. And so that is going to continue to move off. I can do a better job than that. This is going to continue to move off into the Ennis area here. And so you see the rain-free base is in the Ennis area right now. So if you are in Ennis, hopefully you are taking shelter, because it may not be raining in Ennis right now, but that's because you're in that rain-free base. You are kind of in the general vicinity of where this rotation is occurring. Red Oak, you're safe to leave that shelter now. Red Oak, Waxahachie, Midlothian, Maypearl, Forreston, Italy, those areas, you're in the clear. It's the Ennis area that I'm mostly concerned about right now. We also have some stronger winds moving into the Palmer, Ferris area as well. So strong winds along with the rain in the Ferris area right now, as you see in the very top of your screen. But in the Bardwell area, let me kind of move this, recenter this a little bit. In the Bardwell area, this is where we have possibly some rotation going on in this line, and that's going to continue to move towards the Trinity River here. And so we look at this. So I have been on the air for how long now? I don't see my numbers here. So about an hour and 20 minutes here. And this storm has almost already cleared Ellis County. It normally takes like an hour or two for that to happen. But this storm is moving so quickly, right around 50 plus miles per hour. And that has not given folks a whole lot of time to get prepared for these areas of circulation. So that's why I've been pressuring you, go ahead and get in your sheltered areas now. I would say the Tellico area, if you would be very careful, take shelter now, since this is kind of in your neck of the woods. If you're in that Tellico area, go ahead and take shelter now. In the Ennis area, you should already be taking shelter. Odds are the circulation has probably moved away from you now. This is going to be now moving to the east of I-45. So as it's moving east of there, if you're in this far southeastern portion, of Ellis County, that is where you want to be the most concerned. Matt, has there been any chatter on the radio in the Ennis area? Okay, so no radio chatter at this time from the Ennis area. Again, this is kind of what we're looking at. We just kind of show you what we're looking at. This is going to continue to move off to the northeast here. And it won't be very long before all of this is outside of the area. And and Matt, if you wouldn't mind, if you would put up a pinned comment or something, just saying, what towns are clear. I know there's a lot of questions. So Waxahachie, Red Oak, Maypearl, Midlothian, Italy, Forreston, those areas that are all clear right now. Really the only areas, if you're along I-45, those are the areas that are getting hit the hardest right now. So those are really the areas of concern. There's really more that's clear than not at this point. So I don't know how best to word that, but I think that would help a lot of folks that are just jumping into the live stream who may not really know if their area is clear. So that would really, I think, help. So a couple of things, a couple of kind of notches here. Well, let me take that off of there. take this off here, just kind of to orient everybody. So here is what we're looking at. I know that I've spent a lot of time zoomed in on one part of the storm, but that circulation was getting quite strong and we needed to pay attention to that. Here is that tornado warning that continues for about another 20 minutes here, and I think it will probably be canceled before then. But here is the line. And we've had a few areas of circulation that have been kicked up, and because these circulations can so quickly cause tornadoes and that the whole line is moving so fast, we've had these tornado warnings all through Ellis County tonight. And from Ferris down to Ennis right now, Ferris is getting very strong winds. You see all this yellow right here. All that is very strong winds, probably some downburst winds going on in that area right now. Something to be concerned about here is kind of this notch associated with this area here. Let me actually use a different color there so it'll show up better. So that area, because you can kind of see, right, there's something there. So that is an area to be watching for sure. And then, of course, the circulation that we've been watching in the Ennis area as well. That bears watching too. All of this moving to the east, northeast at about 50 miles per hour. That is booking it for a storm. Absolutely booking it. So if you are behind the storm, if you are in Midlothian, Waxahachie, Italy, Ferris, Forreston, Maypearl, Five Points, Boz, all those areas, Sardis, Ovilla, Red Oak, Oakleaf, Pleasant Hill, all those areas are in the clear. If you are behind the storm, and let me put it in motion so you can kind of see where this is going. So yeah, you see it is moving very quickly to the east. So if you're behind it, if you're back here, if you're in this whole big area here, you are good to go. You're done for the night. You can take it easy and exhale. And everything is good to go. But in the Ennis area and really east of here now, east of I-45, so between I-45 and the county line here is really where we're going to see any kind of inklings of rotation. I don't see the kind of well-defined rotation we saw a few minutes ago. Certainly not to the degree that we saw just a little while ago towards the Bardwell area. So I think that we might be in the clear of that rotation issue. Now, just to the east of Palmer here, near the Crisp area, and moving towards Bristol and Alsdorf and Sand Lake, all of this could possibly pose an issue. So that's what I'm a little bit concerned about here, because we could, again, be seeing one of these kind of just brief rotation here. And let me see here. And Matt, have you received any damage reports or anything? Are you seeing any of that in the chat or anything? Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So. Yeah, haven't heard of any damage reports yet tonight. Sometimes these wind events, you don't really see it until the next day. You go, oh, that's what that crack was. It's my whole tree. So it happens that we see that occasionally. It just I know that there was a fairly minor. See. Okay. Yeah. So no damage reports that I've heard. Unless something's come in the comments, and there's just been too many of them for me to catch. I'm sure there's power outages. I'm sure there's, your pool floaty is now 6 blocks away. Whatever kind of those minor things, but. No reports of damage that we are aware of in this area. So I'm not seeing. I think what we could be, now that I'm looking. Let me just take a look here. Let me kind of process. So I'm not seeing a whole lot of rotation. It looks like the National Weather Service is kind of kind of let go of this as well. So I'm not really seeing I'm seeing a little bit of a notch there, a little bit of a notch there, but nothing that is really grabbing my attention at this point. So nothing is really in screaming rotation at me at this point. And here we have another update where the front line of this. Again, this is kind of what we're seeing, and that's bowing out a little bit, so we're going to be looking at more of a... Okay, I've got several questions about the Tellico area. So if you were in Tellico, I don't see any rotation necessarily in that area. I don't see any kind of immediate concerns for rotation. There may be some broad rotation developing just a little bit, but I'm not seeing anything too major at this point. Let me just kind of take a look here. So this is kind of the area where I'm going to be... I want to wait and see what this velocity says. So if anything, if there is any rotation here, I mean, we've got a couple notches here, but I don't see anything that's immediately screaming rotation to me. And so I think that we can pretty much say that the tornado threat for Ellis County has probably alleviated at this point. If you're in the Tellico area, I know we had several questions about Tellico. I think you can breathe easy now. I think you can take a break, and there are no plans right now to extend this tornado warning, so it doesn't look immediately like we will have to deal with that. So I think that we are going to be good to go for now on this whole situation. I think that this tornado warning will be allowed to expire, if not canceled, because at this point the areas of concern have just about left the polygon here. Okay. All right, so spotters in Ellis County are standing down. Thank you, Matt, for the info. Okay, and Dallas is standing down too. So the I-35 corridor here, in terms of from Hillsboro on north, is standing down. Things are calming down. Looks like we are about ready for this thing to leave Ellis County. Inhale, exhale. We're through it, I think. This was a very kind of crazy evening because of how quickly these storms were moving. Ennis, you're in the clear here. The storms have moved through. Really, the only part of Ellis County that hasn't had this yet is just this very far southeastern portion, of Ellis County, Sand Lake down to about the Valley Farms area. But I think that we are good to go as far as Ellis County is concerned. I don't think that we have any tornado concerns here. I think this warning will probably be canceled, if not allowed to expire. It expires in another 13 minutes. I would be surprised if they allow it to go on that long. I don't really think that they will. I'm sure they will cancel that here very soon. I'll just be watching to see if they are going to do that. But I think that we can say that we are alleviated of that concern now. So we do have the tornado watch that continues. Let me take a look at the updates on the watch now. So we are still under the tornado watch for the next few minutes. I do think that will be canceled here in the next few minutes or so. The tornado watch is being canceled from west to east as the line moves out of those areas. So I think that that watch will probably be canceled very soon in the next few minutes. I'm sure there are a lot of power outages now. We kind of have to deal with the aftermath of this. If you do have any damage reports, I welcome you. Please send those to me. I will be happy to get those to different media sources and to the National Weather Service as well. That is one of the things that they want me to help with, is to get those damage reports to them. So whether it's tonight or tomorrow, it's going to be, I think we're going to be, I I think we're going to see a few things that might have happened. Let me just see here. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, so I'm getting reports to continue for Navarro County. Let me just give you a quick shot on Navarro County. I can't go too long, but I will say Navarro County, I don't see any concerns right now of rotation or anything in Navarro County. I don't see any of that in as far as the National Weather Service is concerned. So I think that Navarro County, I think you're going to have an easier go with this. Really, the way this has been going for the most part, at least so far tonight, is that it doesn't really look like this part of the storm south of Ellis County has really had that much happening on it. So I think that as far as the Navarro County area is concerned, I'm not seeing the kind of strong winds that were associated with these storms in Ellis County. So I don't think that you really have too much of a reason to be concerned. And this is about to leave the county here. Really, all we have left is just a little bit of a sliver here. But for the most part, I'm saying that Ellis County is in the clear here. Ellis County, you guys are done for the night. These storms have gone away, and I don't see really any big concern in the Corsicana and Navarro County area either. But I would continue to monitor. Really the best thing is if you go to Twitter and go to the National Weather Service in Fort Worth, they tweet out every warning. So if there is a warning for Navarro County, you want to make sure that, of course, that you're tuned into that, or you have a weather radio or something, different ways to get warnings. But I think we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you all so very, very much for sticking around. This was kind of a wild and rowdy night. Okay, here we go. I can end on a good note. The tornado warning for Ellis County has been canceled, and there it goes off the screen there. So thank you so much, everybody, for all of this. And I'm getting questions about leaving Corsicana, driving through to and from Corsicana. I wouldn't advise it just because of all the winds that are blowing. I would say kind of give yourself time, but these storms are moving very quickly, right? So moving very quickly, you just wait them out. Just give them the few minutes that they need to move through, and I think you should be good. So thank you so much, everyone. I can finally take this graphic off now, and without it. And everyone stay safe. Have a good evening. And again, if you do have damage reports, even if you find those tomorrow morning, send me some pictures. Send me a picture and your location, and I might come and check it out just to kind of get an eye on things. So thank you so much. I appreciate all of you.